Dragon Ball Sparking Zero is absolutely crushing records. It actually just peaked at an all-time player count of 122,000 on Stead. DLC is going to release. We'll talk about that as well as some of my more negative thoughts about the game.
What? No, alright. I know that sound.
I'm about an 8 out of 10, maybe even an 8.5 or 9 out of 10. Just based off my experience as a Dragon Ball fan, but there are things that I think are worth talking about that is more negative, and I know a lot of people have a lot of positive things to say about this game. I will definitely get into the more positive things about it once I do my full game review, but just based off my first impressions, there are some negatives. But before we get into that, let's talk about the DLC. So the Superhero Pack will release in the Q1 of 2025, and then the Diamond Packs will be 2. The second pack will release 3 DLC packs overall. So the first Diamond Pack is Q2, and then the second Diamond Pack is Q3. So when you break down how this is considered worldwide, January 1st to March 31st is Q1, April 1st to June 30th is Q2, and then July 1st to September 30th is Q3. So if you came here looking for Beast Gohan, he will likely release sometime from January 1st to March 31st, since that is considered Q1. With all that being said, let's get into some of the more negative aspects to Sparking Zero. And like I said, I'm really loving the game, but I want to talk about this because no game is perfect. This isn't me saying like hate on the game or anything, but this is just some more negative thoughts. So my first issue has to be with the story. It does feel incomplete on some characters. Goku's story does feel satisfying to play, and while Gohan has a really cool what-if storyline, starting from his story from the Cell fight doesn't do his story justice. It kind of feels weird because Gohan was the main player in the Saiyan Saga and the Frieza Saga, or Namek Saga, however you want to say it. And I felt like his story starts in the other fighting games from the Saiyan Saga and Frieza Saga. And in this one, they just started from the Cell Saga at the end of the Cell Saga, right whenever he's in the Hyperbolic Time Chamber training with Goku, and then the Cell fight, which is an interesting choice. And it was cool having a very cool what-if with the Future Trunks stuff, but I felt like he was kind of underused with his story. And Future Trunks having his story start from Super and ignoring everything in DBZ is also disappointing. And I think a lot of people justified this by saying, yeah, but it's Future Trunks from Super, you're playing his story. Yeah, and you're also clicking on Goku from Super and you're going through his entire story from DBZ to Super. I think you should also do Future Trunks' story from DBZ to Super. The lack of Broly from Dragon Ball Super having his story represented is underwhelming. Now, I'm not saying that you needed to play as Broly necessarily because there's not enough battles, but not having a Broly fight in Goku and Vegeta's story, that was kind of disappointing. The what-ifs go hard, and it's cool to see stories from Frieza, Goku Black, and Jiren, but other characters suffer as a result. What I mean is, it's cool to have characters from Piccolo, Goku, Vegeta, and Gohan, but you're also missing a large chunk of the story that I think should have been represented, like Gotenks battles and things like that. So that's just a minor complaint. A lot of times the story mode features a battle involving multiple heroes. However, because it's Goku's story, for example, you only play as him for the most part. This is disappointing. Having the game set up to where there's like teams of 5, but then when you go do something like on Namek, for example, and you're playing Goku's storyline and you're fighting the Ginyu Force, I wish it would have let you play as the other characters and then finish it out with Goku, but instead you're playing as Goku, so you're doing very specific fights. I just found that to be a little bit disappointing. Now that is to say that if you're looking for a Dragon Ball game and you want to play it for a story, just play Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. Now, OG Dragon Ball having almost the entire roster cut and all stories stripped from Sparking Zero is really extremely disappointing. I'm a very big fan of OG Dragon Ball. I know a lot of Dragon Ball Z fans haven't even watched OG Dragon Ball, and if you haven't, click off this video and start episode 1 right now. But if you have watched it, you understand that it's an essential part of Dragon Ball, and gutting the roster was extremely disappointing. Having only Kid Goku to play as is okay, but he can't even turn into a Great Ape, and there is no story with Kid Goku, so I found that extremely disappointing. And another thing I found disappointing is what if characters are not playable. That's really weird. Why are you going to invent a new character like Gohan Black, give him new voice acting by Kyle Hebert, who does a great job of capturing Zamasu / Goku Black's cadence well, and then you just don't have him as a playable character? I thought that was a bit weird, and I hope that they add him in a post-launch free content and make them playable for free, because they're already in the game, they already did the heavy lifting, just make them playable. A couple of bugs, like not being able to move my character, and in the Gohan vs. Toppo fight, Toppo fell out of the arena and into an endless abyss, and I had to reset the match. These bugs weren't major, but I've seen some other people that encountered these bugs as well. This was in the early access period, and now it's in full release. Maybe there's a patch that's going to fix these bugs, I hope so. Anyways guys, that's it for this video. I just wanted to go over the brand new Dragon Ball Super DLC announcements, as well as some of my more, and I know it's a bit more of a negative video. I'm definitely going to be getting into the positives later on, but I just wanted to have this one quick first impressions video out of the way of some of the more negative aspects of the game, because everybody can talk about how much they love the game, but it's also important to acknowledge that nothing is perfect and there are some negatives. That doesn't mean it's a bad game overall, just some more negative aspects to the game that I think more people should be made aware of, because we can ignore all the negatives and just say this game is perfect, but I wanted to like make this video to just get some of the negatives out there so people are a little bit more aware and just get more of my thoughts out there. So thanks for watching guys. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe to stay up to date with all things Dragon Ball news and commentary, and I will see you in the next one. Peace off.